Hey everybody, today we're going to upgrade my solar battery backup with a new solar panel. This is the Newpowa 50 watt mono solar panel. Okay, I won't bore you too much with that image right there. That's the new panel. What I have outside on my VHF UHF radio power box, I have a little portable box that I built, 3 or 4 years ago. I have a couple of, mixed together ragtag kind of solar panels I had left over. I think one is 20 and one is 15. And I've wired them together, and they've been out there a long time, and they're starting to turn colors. So I figured it was time to invest in something a little better. Now, I do have some PVC mounted on those old panels. We're not going to be putting it on this new one. This one does have the holes for it, but we're going to actually buy a proper rack for it. And that's, down the road, maybe a couple of weeks. I do want to get it wired up, though, and just put it out there. I do have some cinder blocks on the ground, so it kind of leans at a perfect little angle to begin with, but I'd like to put it on a proper stand. So eventually we're going to do that. That's no big deal. I'll show you that when we do it. But the goal of this today is to get this solar panel wired up. Now I'm going to push this down here and show you quickly what's the guts of this panel. Alright, so this is the back. I have taken this piece off. This is a nice rubberized, waterproof ring around here with the lid. Let me pull that out for you. So you can see it's got a nice rubber gasket around it. It is well sealed up. It does have a blocking diode, so you don't lose power back out of it when it's not charging. I do have these, what are these? The MC4 connectors, I believe. We're going to be cutting off the connectors and just wiring it straight. Now, the reason I'm doing that, even though these are superior, is because I already have this set up to work with a little cigarette lighter plug. So we're going to be using that plug and those wires that are already out there and just connect them to here for positive and negative. No big deal. I'd like to eventually upgrade it, but for now it works and it does what it's supposed to do, and I'm good up to 10 amps on that plug, so I'm good with this because this only has a max of like 3.5 at short circuit. 3.1, I'm sorry. The current is 16.77 volts at maximum. You have a 50 watt output. You got the 3 feet of wire attached here. The mounting holes on this, I don't know if you can see them in the camera. Let me back up a little bit so you can see. I always do that. I always go the wrong way. Anyway, we have proper mounting holes here. And like I said, eventually I'll get a stand for this and do it the right way. Right now I'm just going to lean it up there and let it kind of sit at the angle on the cinder blocks. It's really a decent angle, so it's a good deal. These panels are framed using heavy anodized aluminum frames, so you really have good rigidity on them. They're about 23 by 23.7 by 19.8 inches, about 1.18 inches thick, and they weigh about 9 pounds total. So these aren't super light, but for what I'm going to be doing with that box, and I'll bring the box up here and show you in a minute, what I'm going to do with that box is basically grab and go mobile emergency radio. With this panel, I'll have a little more oomph to put into the battery, as well as a little more longevity on the battery. The battery is a 24 amp hour deep cycle gel cell, nothing fancy, and that's what we're using for it. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to bring in the old panels and show you them. If you looked at the thumbnail, you probably saw them in that little picture up in the corner I put up there. But I'm going to bring in the old panels. We're going to take a look at them, and then we're going to clip, and solder them together. All right, for those of you wondering what was outside, that's it. I believe this is a 20 watt one, and this is a 10 watt one. I was wrong. Anyway, it's been out there a really long time. They were really, really old when I started using them to begin with. I probably had these for 10 years before I ever put them in service. And as you can tell, this one's starting to get brown and beat up and kind of worn out where it is. So they probably weren't made for that kind of abuse. Now, I do have them mounted, like I said, on PVC tubing here. And you can tell the back is just horrible. So what I'm going to do is clean them up, and I have a friend who's interested in them. If he wants them a little bit older, they still work. They still bring in a charge. So I have a friend that's interested in them, and he will be getting them from me. I'm just going to clip the wire, say about here, and wire the new wire into it. And that will be his set from there on out. So I'm going to take these down. I'm going to show you the power box really quick in case you guys missed the video. It was a while ago. I made this little power unit here with these panels. And this little power unit has my VHF UHF radio in it. A little inverter, 100 watt inverter that I can plug in here. When I turn it on, you get the charge voltage right there. USB plugs. I also have a USB light so I can light the place up at night. This is my little stand for my radio. It goes up here. A place to put my mic on the side. It's a little bit dusty because it was sitting over in the corner there. But all in all, this thing sits out here and stays charged all the time via that panel. That panel is also very easy to grab and go with. I literally can just walk right around the corner of my garage here, and put it right there, and it's ready to go. It's behind a fence, behind security cameras, so no one's going to steal it from me. Anyway, that's the setup here. If you're interested in this one, you can check my older videos from when I built this. That's probably about 4 years ago. I have replaced the battery in it once. So, let's get to wiring the new panel up. I'll show you my connections I make on it once I do it, and we'll see how well it performs after that. Alright, so I'm going to show you quickly. What I did was I made sure I had a positive and negative when I clipped off the leads, but I already knew it just pays to double check your work. Took the soldered on my positive wire and my negative wire. Then I proceeded to test it just to make sure on a cigarette lighter plug. This should be your positive and that should be your negative, and as you can tell I have a red light there, which means it is working. So we are all set to go. I'm going to tape those up. I'm going to put this outside in its place where it's going to be living until I get my my bracket for it. And we're going to test out the output of it and then plug it into the emergency power unit, and it's good to go for however long I need it. Alright, so there it sits for now. Eventually we will get a proper angled mount for that. I'm just using 3 cinder blocks. There's one on each side and one in the back kind of holding it up. But within the next couple of weeks I want to get the proper mount for it. But hey, you know what? It works. It's pulling in 18 volts, 18.3 or something. I don't know. I just tested it. But we're going to take it inside and look and see what it's pulling. And I've already plugged it into the box, so I know it works. It's working with the charge control. Again, your max amperage is like 2.4 to 3, and my charge control is for 8. So I will be upgrading that charge control in a future video. But that's where it sits for now. So let's take it inside and measure the panel and see what we're getting off it. So I've got this on DC volts. I'm going to connect this here. Snap it in there. Well, let's do it the other way because I'm right-handed. There we go. I just want to kind of hold that under that because that's your negative right there. And the tip is your positive. I'm going to hold that in place and let you take a look and see what we got. 18.62 volts. That's definitely higher than the 15 I was getting off the other 2 panels that I wired together. So it's definitely a success. Very, very happy with it. I'm really happy. It's just sitting out there at an angle. It's not even in direct sunlight and it's doing that. So definitely a good deal. I am very, very pleased. So I'm going to plug it in and I'll show you how that would work. Basically, let me move the camera down for you. Let's turn this off, put it out of the way. Alright, let me move the camera for you and I'll show you. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is I just take this, make sure that red light's on, and I'm just going to plug it in. Now, you probably can't see because I have my radios and gear in here. But in this corner there is a little charge control. You can see it's charging right now. It's not full yet. And if you want to check the voltage on it, I'm going to turn that on. The battery is at 14.3 for 14.3. So it's kind of hovering around that. It'll do that for a little while, and then it will say fully charged. So all in all, I'm really impressed with the panels. I've used them before. You've probably seen me review them in the past, but I'm going to give you a little information on the panel itself in case you want to pick one up. They're very affordable. Newpowa seems to be the least expensive yet decent quality panel out there. So I'll give you a little information. I'm going to take you back out to show you the panel and give you a little last information on where you can pick one up. Alright, so you want to pick up something like this. It's going to run you about $61, $62. Not bad. You know, solar right now has come way down from back when I first started getting into it in the late 90s. It's in the range of $1 a watt. It is the least expensive decent panel on Amazon right now that I found. Pretty much anywhere for that matter. And Newpowa, I've had very good luck, and it is Newpowa, Newpowa. So that's how you would search for it. And I'll have it in my store. You can check them out there. I've had really good luck with them. I have another one exactly like that one, a 50 watt, that is my backup power for my HF radio box that I built with 2 deep cycle batteries in it. And that one just sits in my window in my second storeroom. And it keeps that thing at 14.3 all day long, just sitting in the window. And I have solar screens on the window. So it definitely does what it's supposed to do. Again, it's really just trickle charging, but it does what it's supposed to do. Out here, it's actually doing some work. So that's pretty cool. And in an emergency, if I need to take this, I literally just pick it up, pull the cable that runs underneath I put it under the gravel there so it won't get beat up. Pull up that cable, take it with me, take my box, take my radios, which are in the box, and my antenna and pole, and I'm ready to go anywhere. I can operate anywhere unlimited. So definitely a cool little system. Anyway, folks, I thank you for watching. I will have a link to this one down below. Check them out. Don't forget to check out our affiliate links down below. I have my Amazon store. I have my freeze-dried wholesalers. We got a lot more videos coming from them. I got all sorts of taste tests coming up. I have my Thrive Life link if you're interested in some freeze-dried food, some really quality stuff. And don't forget our preparewithiridium.com link, our food for patriots. That's preparewithiridium.com. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. Stay safe and stay prepared.